This was definitely an episode, and though it did not reach the highs of last week's episode or even previous Prodigy episodes, it advanced not only our story plot for our characters as well, from Sleeping Borg, a tea drinking Janeway, and an assimilated Zero. This is our review of Prodigy Season 1, Episode 12, Let Sleeping Borg Lie, which is written by Diandra, Pendleton-Thompson, and directed by Olga Ulanova Sung Shin. Spoiler warning, we're discussing the whole episode in full detail. Welcome to Trek Central, I'm your host Captain Jack, and let's get straight into it. In fact, this week we actually have a Murph plushie, I guess that's what we're calling it, a Murph plushie, however you want to pronounce it. Our assistant editor TJ picked one of these, or two of these up, from New York Comic Con, and we've got a couple of these right now. Did you know they're going for about $100 on eBay right now, and it was free to give away, or free to get at NYCC. So Paramount, if you're listening, I know you're not, but maybe kick the merch division's ass and actually make these things, because I think people want to buy them. If I was a kid, I'd buy it, and let's be honest, a lot of people buy Baby Yoda stuff, so anything's possible. It's going to sit in the background of this setup for as we do the Prodigy reviews, so there we go. Like always, before we warp into this video, if you want to keep up to date on all the latest Star Trek news, lore, and more, then make sure to hit that subscribe button to never miss a video from the team here at Trek Central. You can also follow us on social media for daily updates on the Star Trek universe. As always, please let us know your thoughts in the comment section below, because if you're talking about Star Trek, we want to hear about it. Okay? Engage. Let's start up talking about the living construct, the weapon of the heart of a protostar that will destroy the Federation, in the hopes of saving Solon from its civil war. I like how it's a living weapon, since that carries on the same theme of the Valkanut such as Gwyn's heirloom, where it can be manipulated like it's alive. Manipulate, you get my point. We did see a glimpse of the weapon last episode when it activated, and corrupted the communication relay station, very much giving Hal from 2001 A Space Odyssey, which was probably the intent. Another connection we may have to make between the living construct is the weapon from Star Trek Beyond, another living weapon that emanates from a ring. So, the protostar just stumbles upon a deactivated Sleeping Borg cube, which is probably why the ship accidentally stumbled upon it and wasn't aware of its existence until it came close by. Personally, I would have expected more from Janeway's hologram to have more emotion upon her seeing a Borg cube and being in charge of a bunch of kids. But she is a hologram, so probably designed to be more composed and not as free-willed as other holograms.
I'm an advisor. I advise you to run away as fast as you can.
It will be gone before they know it, and we can save Starfleet.
I'm against this plan, but if you're going to be stubborn, at least let me brief you on everything I know.
We get a little bit of lore about why the Borg ship is sleeping, and probably we can use this as a reason for a bunch of the Borg collective. They've basically been affected by the neurologic virus the Borg assimilated from future Janeway in the episode Endgame, which disbanded nanoprobes and disconnected a lot of Borg from each other. Wouldn't be surprised if this cube was cut off from the major collective, which probably would explain a lot of things in the episode as well. A nice idea is to get the Borg to analyse the living construct, due to their hive mind and probably processing power that can better do what the kids can't accomplish. Also, getting Zero to integrate into the hive mind due to Medusans having hive minds does make sense. As I said previously, if the cube is cut off from the rest of the collective, then it isn't as strong as it would be, so making Zero fighting this mini collective in a sense is easier said, well, it's easier, but not easier said than done, you get my point. Now, interestingly enough, the big horn Borg, which I love to see more of varied alien Borg by the way, considering most Borg we've seen are basically human, sort of humanoids. Now, it is an asset reused from the assimilated form of an alien from Tars Lamor, which does make sense to reuse some of those new alien species there to populate this area of space. Just a cool nice little detail. Now, Zero managed to fight the collective and put them all to sleep. Now, whether this is a best of both worlds reference, with the Q just being able to give a sleep command to the Borg cube, or simply a byproduct of Zero's Medusian physiology, who knows. But it does allow our crew to escape from the cube with the information about the living construct, and not be assimilated. We get a little more from Janeway in this episode, as in the actual Janeway, with some hints from a crew like Dr. Newham, who seems to be a Tellurite as ever, and I like to see a Tellurite doctor because I'm sure their bedside manner is terrible but great. They decide to use the serum in the Diviner's suit to wake him up, which we see happen by the end, but what state is his mind in after Medusan exposure? Will he have to be mental, or is it something going to break through? I don't know. Now, by this point, I'm sure the Federation has a way to deal with Medusan madness. It has been a long time since Medusans first contacted with the Federation, so I would think they probably have a way to help since accidents are prone to happen, and I'm sure it would suck if you accidentally saw a Medusan and are just mad forever. Dauntless comes across the wreckage of a relay station from the last episode, which gives Admiral Janeway the reasoning that Chakotay probably isn't aboard the protostar, and it is in the hands of someone else. Though I am surprised that it seems that as of yet they have not located Barnes Frex, but Denoblium from last episode, who did escape in an escape pod. I am sure he survived and his escape pod is just drifting somewhere, but probably won't be okay till next time to keep Janeway thinking about Chakotay and not learning about the kids on the Protostar until a later date. It seems, at least for the moment, the Dauntless is actually pretty useful in acting as a reminder for what happened last week on the show, similar to the last time on Star Trek of previous series, but in a more natural storytelling way, which works well. And Janeway might even find out about Dahl and what his species seems to be on a list to contact Starfleet headquarters. Whether Frex has a copy of that data, considering it went haywire, we'll have to see. This could spur Janeway even more to find the Protostar and its crew. A nice little touch in this episode is that Janeway is drinking tea.
Tea. Black.
Admiral, you're not drinking coffee.
Doctor's orders. Between you and me, Ensign, I need a second opinion.
Something that when this was revealed in promotional pictures, some people were up in arms about. This means it's Kelvin, the writers don't know Trek, this is Mirror Janeway. Not my impression. These were concerns will elevate in a simple sentence, Doctor's orders. It seems that the Doctor may not be able to convince Janeway to calm down her coffee addiction, but a Tellurite Doctor definitely has. It's just a further reminder to let the series tell its story before deciding to complain of something. You hear that, Twitter? Shut up. Anyway, at this rate, I'm sure the Dauntless will probably come head to head with the Borg Cube, and we maybe even see the Dauntless fight the Cube, possibly even destroy it. With Janeway at the helm and an advanced ship, this would definitely show the capabilities of the adversary of the Protostar. That's going to be interesting. Also, quick note, Ensign Senior. Something's happening there. We somewhat know a theory is going on there, and we'll tell you in another video because that was leaked ages ago. All in all, Prodigy is basically a stealth sequel to Star Trek Voyager, and that comes with both pros and cons. Having excellent concepts, but not 100% executing them well, and continuing to defang the Borg and make them less scary than we know they'd be. Seriously, there's an attempted jump scare in this episode, it did not work properly. Obviously, this being Trek for all ages, we couldn't have our horror Borg, and they were more meagre due to their neurologic pathogen, basically cut off from their collective, but it still felt less scary for Borg than it should have been. There might be ways to change the script to deal with this, but it isn't a deal breaker, just personal thoughts at the end of the day. We got some nice advancement in this episode for Gwyn and Zero, a continuation of their feelings from last episode, and almost a nice tie to the end of the character development. Zero being worried about hurting people, with their appearance and physically representing opening up to your friends, and being worried about what they might see. Finally coming to terms about that is a lesson, and a moral which is fit for a Star Trek show, definitely for a younger audience. So in that aspect, this episode does an amazing job. As we said last episode, we were worried it may drag out the Janeway plot of the second half of the season, and that may still be warranted, but probably a given at this moment we have to accept. We'll have a scene of the Dauntless and Admiral Janeway on the trail and seeing what the kids were up to last week. I hope this isn't the entire season and the Dauntless manage to catch up to the Protostar sooner rather than later. Who am I kidding? We actually know what's going to happen when they start shooting at a Protostar. We see it in the trailer, along with some other stuff that isn't meant to be in the trailer or certain magazines. This was an okay episode of Prodigy, and though not a favourite, definitely one which needed for the show to advance and continue with its story. We also needed to address the Borg at some point, and we did it. But what did you think of Sleeping Borg Lie? Let us know down below in the comment section. If you want to keep up to date on all the latest Star Trek news, lore and more, then make sure to hit that subscribe button to never miss a video from the team here at Trek Central. You can also follow us on social media or join our community Discord server. But for now, I've been Captain Jack. Thank you for joining me for this Prodigy review. Murph says goodbye as well. It'll be on the shelf soon. And of course, we'll see you next week. Live long and prosper, my friends. Goodbye.